Okay, so the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD released on the Nintendo Switch around 12 hours ago, and I was lucky enough to be able to get the game. I've played Skyward Sword HD for roughly 2 hours now, and so in this video I'm going to be talking about my first impressions or very early thoughts on the game. Also, spoiler warning for a game that's nearly a decade old. Alright, so what people hated the most about Skyward Sword when it released on the Wii in 2011 was the motion controls. I didn't play Skyward Sword on the Wii, but from what I've heard from reviews, the motion controls were awful. Now in Skyward Sword HD on the Nintendo Switch, if you play the game in handheld mode you get to use button controls, but if you play with your Switch docked then you've got to use motion controls. I decided to play with my Switch in docked mode, so I had to use motion controls, and well, the motion controls are not the best. Using motion controls to swing your sword and pull up your shield usually works fine, though sometimes when you want to do a vertical slash with your sword you end up doing a horizontal slash, which is annoying, but it's only happened a few times to me and it didn't result in me dying or anything like that. However though, the motion controls are horrendous whenever you have to control Link when he's in the air. Around 45 minutes into the game, you have to complete this short race on your Loft Wing, which are the colourful bird things. Now this race should have only taken me around 2 minutes, but I spent over 15 minutes struggling to control my Loft Wing, and it was just infuriating. Then around 10 minutes after the Loft Wing race, you're required to simply jump from the Statue of Goddess, which is a fairly large statue, and you need to land in a certain area on the floor. As soon as I jumped off the statue, I would just fly around everywhere, even when my Joy-Cons were barely moving. This extremely simple task ended up taking me over 10 tries. There isn't much for me to say about the visuals or sound design in Skyward Sword HD, as they're both just good. Nothing crazy, nothing bad, they're good. Looking at some gameplay from Skyward Sword on the Wii, the visuals have not been improved that much, but it's still an aesthetically pleasing game. One thing that really makes me mad though is that whenever you talk to an NPC, enter a cutscene or focus on an enemy in combat, these black bars appear above and below the screen, and it just really annoys me. This just shows how lazy the port of the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was, that Nintendo couldn't even get rid of some black bars. Like, come on Nintendo. From what I've heard of the music so far in Skyward Sword HD, it is fantastic. I especially love the song that played when you're on Skyloft. The game doesn't have any voice acting, which makes for some funny cutscenes as the characters are just grunting at each other. The cutscene that's on the screen now with Link and Zelda's dad was just hilarious to me. As for parts of the cutscene, there weren't any text boxes, so Link was just sitting on his bed grunting to Zelda's dad, with Zelda's dad grunting back at Link, and it was just so stupid. The story in Skyward Sword HD is not anything memorable. To summarize what's happened so far in just a few sentences, Link and Zelda lived above the clouds and no one has ever been on the surface. Then one day when Link and Zelda are flying on their Loft Wings, a tornado sucks Zelda down to the surface. Then with the help of Fi, who is this person, you're out to rescue Zelda and save the world. Personally, I don't really care too much about the stories in the games I play. As long as the gameplay is fun and the game looks and sounds good, then I'm happy. So when Fi was telling me what my destiny was, I was spamming through the text as fast as I could so that I could get to actually playing the game. Now that I've gone over my main thoughts on the game, I want to talk about some other things, with the first of those things being Groose. I fucking hate him. He is such a hateable character. Everything about him, from his personality to his looks, just suck. You can sit on a lot of things, which is cool. I had a lot of fun sitting on benches and toilets. I don't know why there's even an option to sit on these things, but there is. The designs of all the characters in Skyward Sword HD are really weird. Every character looks like they could be the main character of their own TV show. Just look at Zelda's dad for fuck's sake. What is going on with his face? It's terrifying. There is one character in the game that is just adorable, with that being the Kikwee. I don't know if there are more Kikwees as I'm not too far into the game, but it would be absolutely awesome if we got to see more of them. So those are my thoughts on the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD so far. Let me know in the comments if you're gonna pick up the game, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel for more Nintendo content, and thank you for watching.